birthday, Tisa.
Thank you, Grant. This is amazing.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. It's my birthday, y'all. And we are coming live from Jamaica.
Montego
Bay. Welcome to Health, Wealth, and Relationships with Tisa.
And Grant.
From Jamaica. On my birthday.
Look at this. Happy birthday. We just had birthday song. We just turned up. There's like two or three other people.
Yes,
they had birthdays. We had the class of 81. We had another 3 or 4 birthdays.
Oh my God, it was good. We've been my voice is a little sore, a little hoarse, because we've been turning it up. Hey.
If you didn't see the video, you gotta see that video. We was in the boat. We were at the dinners. We were on the yachts. I mean, we really had a good time. I'm glad.
It's my birthday, but class of 81. That's what it was. It was class of 81, 45th reunion, all school. If y'all don't know, y'all better ask somebody.
Ask somebody.
Class of 81 ain't no joke, y'all.
Nobody does it out of North.
We brought it like 1999.
We're international now. So many people are talking about. First of all, we're all beautiful. We had at least about 30 different people here.
30 people.
At least.
30 63-year-old, y'all. Because we all turned 63 in 63.
Yeah.
We were born in 63. We all turned 63. I think that's amazing. And we were looking good. Everybody's still living life. You know, some of us are retired, some of us are not. But everybody's in a good place. I'm glad to see everybody. It's good to see everybody.
Agree. And some people I hadn't seen for a very, very long time.
I know, like elementary school.
Yes.
You know, I was just talking about busing. But the good thing about busing is it's got us out of our neighborhood. So I would never have met some of those people. Like I went to Nathan Hill, got bused to Nathan Hill, that lived up in the Northwest area, Ron Colley area. And so I'm glad, and in a way I'm glad I did it. I volunteered for it, so it paid off. So these are lifelong friendships.
That's where we first met. It was at Nathan Hill Junior High School. A long time ago, but we had so much fun. I went from McMillan to Nathan Hill. She was already at Nathan Hill. She's probably showing us the ropes, right?
Yes, I ran Nathan Hill. I ran all my schools. I ran North High. I'm just saying.
So we got a topic today, right?
So a topic today. I don't know if it's fitting or not, but we are in Jamaica, and we are talking about STIs.
STI or STD, or STI versus STD.
No, they're the same. So they've changed it over there. It used to be called STDs, and they've changed it because they're not labeling it as a disease. They're labeling it as an infection.
Right.
So when you get an infection, it's more fitting, right? When you say when you get herpes or when you get some other kind of STD, it's not a disease. It's an infection. It's something that invaded your body.
Isn't that the difference? An infection would be maybe it's temporary. But a disease is kind of like herpes, it stays with you, or maybe AIDS, stays with you for a very long time.
True. But they changed it to STIs, so that's the kosher official term. No, and it's a no judgment zone today because it's a topic that really people don't talk about. It's like that hidden thing that you should share really with your mates, your sexual partners, anything that you might have. But it's people look. That's real intimacy, right? We can share. So, but people are not. I think it's spreading because it's not really talked about like this should be.
You shocked me with the stats. This stat, you think about rates of infection, but why we're having this conversation because our younger people, these generations, 15 to 24, 15-year-olds to 24-year-olds, are getting STDs, STIs at a much higher rate.
Yeah, and what are STDs? Let's define it. Its most common ones are chlamydia. If you ever been told you get gonorrhea, right? Gonorrhea, that was an old school. HPV. So they came up with HPV kind of later. Last 10 years or so. That wasn't kind of how we were out. HPV is the one they're making sure that your teens get. So like you get an HPV, an HPV, thank you, an HPV shot in your teen years to prevent stuff for the future. And herpes never went away. Herpes will be there, and HIV. So those are the most common ones, and so you have to be aware of those. And if you're a single person, multiple partners, it's just good for you to keep getting checked, because some of your partners might not be upfront with you and forthcoming about what some of their sexual histories. I mean, it's embarrassing, right? Nobody wants to be like, guess what?
Yeah.
I got a little HPV going on down there. Or I got a little herpes or whatever it is. It's a hard subject.
I can't imagine
but it's real.
When you're 15, 16, 17 years old, and we're talking about adult conversation. We're 50, 40, 50, 60. You can have that conversation. It might be uncomfortable, but you can have it. But if you're 15 to 24, this is where this is happening at its highest rate, and maybe it's happening at a high rate because we're not having the conversation.
That's why we're not. That's why it's
Right.
happening because we're not having the conversation. Like that old health, you have to go health. They would talk about that stuff with health.
Mhm.
They don't even have health classes. They said they have to sign up for health anymore and that kind of stuff. It's not a given that your kids are going to get this information. So you got to make sure you're up on top of it, parents, and and really it's just another growth thing when you come to the kids and they start having sex. And, they gonna have their sex. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's very popular, especially in mobile social media, songs, music. Things. I mean,
Kids
we've
don't
always
really-
had sex in our songs, but I think it's more glamorized.
Glamorized.
Yeah.
The booty popping and all the sexual activities are really going on social media and in our music and all that just makes that's why it's getting more younger because they're getting exposed to it younger, and so they're thinking it's cool and okay, and it's not. It's really not. The best way to not get anything is abstinence. Let's just say that's just the best way. But if you're not going to, you have safe. There is such thing as safe.
I got to
sex.
put my cool glasses on, right?
No, there's such
That's,
thing as
that's what
safe
we were
sex.
calling that out,
Okay, I'm cooling up too.
right?
Ray Bans. Okay.
We're on vacation.
Yes, we are. Still in Jamaica. Last day in Jamaica. This isn't so good. I'm sad though. But that's okay. We got one more day back, a couple of days back at Miami, Mond, and
Hollywood.
I'm going to keep the party going because we'll be traveling on my birthday. So, so the stats are definitely younger. I just want people to understand that they're out there. But when you get in your 20s, you should be having this conversation with your sexual partners. Y'all ain't too young. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to label the teens, but if you're like in your 20s and you're single and you're having a lot of sex, you should be getting checked regularly. They say get checked every 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Going to a clinic. It's free. It doesn't cost you a lot.
Anytime you feel any kind of irritation, you should know your body more than anything, especially our
that's
guys.
just the thing.
Yeah.
It does. Sometimes there's no symptoms. Sometimes there's one of I forget which one it is. Is it chlamydia where the girl might feel it and the guy might, or the guy might feel it and the girl won't? It's one of those. Look at it.
Most time you'll have some kind of discharge, you'll have some kind of irritation, you have something that says. But if you're saying,
like you might have something, but I might not have the same symptoms you have.
Exactly. Yeah, there's difference.
I think it's chlamydia.
Right.
Yeah, the 15 to 24-year-olds, be aware. I mean, I think that probably fits the high sex ages.
Curiosity. They're curious. Things are changing. The body is, ramping up. A lot of hormones are happening.
Yeah.
And the like the lassification, the misinformation, and then the perception that I'm not at risk. Right.
That's the worst. That's the worst. The perception you're not at risk, and everybody's at risk. If you're in sex is sex, right? If it's oral sex or if it's even penetration, oral sex is sex, y'all. I mean, I was telling somebody when I worked at Beverage Middle School, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, they were telling me, Miss Tisa, it's not sex. Oral sex is not sex. I said, what do you call it?
That's what
it
they call
says
it.
Oral sex. They was like, well, they in their minds, if you're not penetrating, it's not sex. So that's just a stupid, again, way of thinking, very juvenile way of thinking. And so, yeah, it's a real deal. So Mythbusters, let's talk about some Mythbusters.
Mythbusters.
Right. And tell us someone has STD. Is that a myth or a fact?
I think that's a myth.
That's a myth.
That's a myth.
That oral sex isn't real sex.
Yeah.
Again, yes, it's real sex.
It's been proven.
It's oral sex.
Well, anytime you have kind of exchange of bodily fluids.
That's right. Kissing in a way is sex. Kissing in a way is sex.
Right.
It's sexual, right? And only promiscuous people get it.
Well, sometimes you can get cold sores. You can get not hurt. There's the type of herpes, right?
Yeah.
That you can have. And then I was thinking, what was the kissing one we had? It was really in your lymph nodes, but it was from that.
Oh.
I can't even think of the word for it right now. It's like a mumps type of thing.
Yeah. So you can definitely have, watch people to get cold sores because you can kiss somebody and get the cold sore.
Yeah.
It's very transferable. So it's the same thing. It's an STI. More common one usually comes with colds.
And that other one, can you get it again after you already had it and it's gone away? Can you get it again?
Absolutely. Right? Yes. The answer is yes. It's reoccurring. It can be reoccurring. Some go away. What is it? Herpes is supposed to stay in your body dormant for years and years. Like supposedly can't get away. I'm gonna go check into that on a natural tip just to see, if we're just not being given that information because I totally believe that our country puts us on medication, keeps us on medication to be buying medication, right? So if we find a cure for herpes, AIDS, cancer, all of these pharmacies, all these pharmacies, pills and treatments have to go away. So I think there's a natural cure out there for herpes. I just got to do my research. Tune in. I'm gonna take that out.
And the other last one is people think, oh, if you're overly promiscuous, you're having sex all the time, then you're going to get STD. But that's not the case.
It only takes one time.
Yeah.
One partner, that one special person.
And you carry a history. When you have sex with one person, that means whatever their sexual history becomes now your sexual history. So you need to be aware of these things.
Right, y'all dipping into the same pool.
Right. Same gene pool, right?
Same waters.
Right.
They say it's close to water. All right, now the sexual is going to cost us. That's it. You're always trying to figure out the wealth piece in all of this, and obviously your health is your wealth. So of course, if you start getting STDs, STIs, how's it going to cost us?
Well, I'm going to give you a scenario that people can really think about. Let's say you're married. You're married, and then you contract an STI, STD, and it was outside your marriage, and then now your mate potentially has been exposed. And maybe they even have it now. That relationship was going to dissolve. So now you're talking about divorce. You're talking about a major blow up in your situation. So that is definitely health related. Obviously, if you don't get checked out, you don't go to the clinic, and you don't get yourself together, that's going to cost you a lot more over time. So to Tisa's point earlier, get checked regularly, especially if you're having, I know one thing we used to do is that everybody would get checked. We're going to get into a sexual relationship. Everyone would get checked. And then now we're not going to be in a monogamous relationship.
Especially during the AIDS epidemic, right? We were like, let's know your status. And really, people need to go back and learn their status on just not an AIDS tip, just on your STI, STD tip. Know your status. Know if you got something. I've had them before. I'm not even going to be shamed on. When I was a teenager, I didn't know, and my mother made sure we got our regular checks, a pap smeared and regular checks, and they checked them. My mother like, you want, and they ask you when you go to your yearly checkup, they'll ask you, do you want blood work for all of those things? And you say yes. Get at least yearly. But if you're single, they're like recommend 3 to 6 months.
Get checked. Especially during that time we're on vacation, we're in a resort now. It's going to happen just like that. And things go off.
Oh my God.
Just be aware of those things. They got a rooster right there. Rooster is crowing. Right. So let's think about what we're talking about. So some myth busters around health or wealth, I would say, is that testing is expensive. It is not. You just got to be able to go to the
You know what is expensive? Treatment costs.
Yeah.
Treatment costs. So that's the opposite of that.
The opposite.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ignoring it is cheaper.
Of course not.
No.
Of course not. You're gonna miss work. All the things that you need to actually generate income is slow all the way down. It's gonna slow all the way down. So you're not gonna be operating on your optimum. Obviously, when you get something like that, there's a tendency to be some shame involved. So you kind of withdraw. And this is the point where you have to get involved with the right people, right? So all these things are going to cost you economically if you don't take advantage of it. So prevention saves money.
Yeah.
Right. We always talk about that a lot.
In the long run, it can complicate things. When you have an STI, you don't take care of it, you ignore it. That's gonna prevent infertility. That could prevent infertility later. So you're thinking, oh, I'll just ignore this, burn this itch. I'll just won't never get taken care of it. You might be able to have babies later. For a guy, that might be you might be able to.
You'll get sterile.
Shooting blanks.
That happens.
So ignoring it is not the way to go.
No.
Prevention is always key. Prevention saves money. Get checked out, at least yearly checkout. Make sure they run the test on your STIs. Make sure that you're good. Make sure you're clean inside and out.
You're going to feel better about yourself. And remember, there are a lot of community resources. You got to do your research. In every neighborhood, it doesn't cost anything. Make an appointment. Go there. I know in Omaha,
neighborhood clinic.
Charles Drew, One Blood,
One World,
One Blood. One Blood's in Florida. Sorry, One Blood's in Florida.
Yes, that's a man roostering in the background. Okay, just so you know, we're still in Jamaica.
We are definitely in Jamaica.
Early detection matters, right? So the earlier you find something, get it cleaned up. Then you can have more free sex. Yeah. And if you do have something, I think the best thing you can do is share that information with your partner.
Got to share. We're going to get into the relationship portion right now. If you don't tell someone that you're having sex with, that this has happened, it spreads. Let me tell you another thing. if you spread something that like an AIDS or you're spreading something like herpes, you can be sued.
It's against the law not to share.
What? Against the law.
It's
Say
against
that
the law
again.
not to share. Y'all maybe back in COVID or when AIDS first came out, they told you have to share. Tell the person that you have to say, know your status. Remember, it's like know your status. That was our thing back there. So you need to know your status and share your status.
But we have to be real. The real thing is, as you're beginning to know each other, and then the energy is there, the mood is there, you want to have sex, and then you don't want to bring that out.
Have the conversation before that.
Conversation, like that's a mood kill, right? People are like, that's a mood kill. Obviously, safe. Yeah. I always use a condom. You got to use safe sex. Like you're going to have that conversation because the long-term effects of that is not good.
Yeah. So that's true trust, communication. Because it's going to affect your emotional impact on your relationship. You just, first of all, have sex with somebody you trust. Don't be just out there popping in like,
Right.
I know young people, have my drunken nights, but just be real careful about that STI.
Yes.
Be real careful,
So monogamy, I mean, sometimes that gets a bad name. Monogamy. That means you're having sex with one person.
Or abstinence is a bad name.
Well, abstinence, no sex at all.
But I can't leave that out. You can just not have sex. Then you don't have none of these problems. Okay.
You won't have none. But if you get into monogamy, if you both are true to that, I think you can have a beautiful relationship going forward.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna know, bring whatever you do. And I remember this Jamaican couple. They went and got tested
together. So you know what? I want to know your status. You want to know my status. Right. Let's go ahead and take this clinic. It's usually just blood work, right? Or urine test, or urine test and blood work. And you can pee, you get a little blood, you're good. Yeah. It's nothing hard.
Find out usually pretty quickly. Unless then there's different levels of testing. Some of you get deeper testing. You have to tell them exactly. I need you to test, as you said earlier. I need to test for AIDS. I need you to test for chlamydia. Right. I need you to test for all these different things, so they will be able to look for them. Yeah. Right. Very
like
important.
You said, have those conversations beforehand. Normalize it. It's not a conversation you should be avoiding. It's this conversation, especially when you first get with somebody. If y'all gonna be doing it and bumping and everything's feeling good, I will just say, just go ahead and throw it out at dinner. Just say, I never asked you, what's your status? Just throw it out there casually. Don't put a bunch of pressure on, we gotta have the talk.
Well, the challenge of the day is, challenge is,
tell me what I need to know.
Have a conversation now. If you know this is what's going on, let's go get tested. Or what is your status? Or how to do it now while you're thinking about it. Because if you're watching this show,
before we do that, let's go to the clinic.
Let's do it. I've had that happen. Like, okay, all right, I'll get that. It's a good thing. Maybe you haven't had a physical in a long time, so you get that along with it. Get a full. Yeah. Well, that means you have a long-term relationship. But it only takes one time to catch one of these things. So that, like you were saying, that one drunken night, that one moment, and then you don't know a lot of information.
I've had them.
Things happen.
I'm just saying.
I think we all
back in the day. Remember that? Wasn't that the goal to see who you could take home after the bar?
But you don't want to leave with something.
I drove my drunk ass home so many times.
Oh my God!
On my stage 2 days. Oh my God! Grace and Mercy got my ass home.
Grace and Mercy.
I gotta stop cussing. But it's my birthday, and I can cuss if I want to. Today. I'm sorry.
She's turning out.
Don't judge me, but I'm
she's being very
I'm working on that part. I'm working on it.
Working on it.
I'm not perfect.
Nobody's perfect. But we want to perfectly have this conversation today, not to shame anybody, because we don't talk about these things. One thing that me and Tisa talk about, we're going to have Health Wealth podcast. We want to talk about the things that people aren't talking about.
Talking about it.
Important. It's very, very important. There's no shame in that. You have to talk about these things.
Encourage your partner just to be open.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not ashamed about it. Let's talk about it. This is a conversation we should be having.
Hey, if you're made to start to ask questions about it, that's a good thing. Like maybe you're taking your relationship to a higher level. So that's not all bad.
Make sure everybody's healthy going in.
Everybody's healthy going in. So before we depart, right, we've got to know from Tisa, how do you feel? Because you are 63.
I am 63, born in 63, feeling fabulous in Jamaica. Oh man, it couldn't have been a better week of partying. Shenanigans started on the 20th. As you can tell, I'm feeling it. But it's not ending until midnight tonight, and then probably next tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be resting tomorrow. We're gonna finish it off in the MIA. We'll be traveling in a few hours. So
we're gonna go back to Hollywood, Florida.
Yep.
And probably go out to the Hard Rock tonight. Show a little bit of that life. So this is what we did. We had a pre-party in Hollywood, and we had the party in here in Montego Bay. And now we're going back to the after party.
We're keeping the party going.
We're definitely gonna keep the party going. So we got a little bit more time here, just to share and openly. This is my big takeaway. First of all, people, if you didn't know, this is our 21st or 22nd show. We've got this going. We got a lot of people that are tuning in, and they really like our candid conversations that we're having.
Candid conversation, and we hope that you're learning some things. We want to have the conversation nobody likes to have, but also leave you always with tips and information you can take with you.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that we're informative, but lighthearted. Trying to bring the
Now, was
information
this
to you.
month also STI month?
Yeah.
It was
STI Awareness Month. Yes.
STI.
So anything, we try to keep it whatever the month. It's still April, and we're wrapping it up with. We did Autism Awareness. My son, if you haven't caught that show, go back and look for it. My son, we did on Autism Awareness. We did Minority Prevention Awareness Month. We did Cancer Prevention and Awareness Month, and we're wrapping up with STIs for April.
Yeah, it's very, very important to understand all these different health aspects. I know there's a stat in Florida, maybe even South Florida. We have the highest AIDS rates in the country.
Oh,
in the country.
So you know what? We had the highest STI rate in Douglas County, and it probably still is. So.
And was that for race? Is that for?
Per 18 to 25 year olds. 18 to 25. So that's
young
a
people.
hot pocket.
Young people, talk to young people. I know a lot of people talk to your grandchildren, talk to your children. You got to talk to them so they understand about these things. And you know what? A pack of candles don't cost that much. So
and that's what I'm talking about. Cheap. Or you get it free. The people give condoms free all the time. Stop down at IB Black Girls, stop down at Eddie's, Old Planned Parenthood, I don't know what they're called now.
As you see, the party is still popping. We got a DJ in the back of us.
We got to get ready to go.
We had a live rooster earlier. So things are happening. Our health.
I'm still in Jamaica. It's still my birthday month. We getting ready. So we'll catch y'all next week.
Next week. Here, as we always are, but we want to keep bringing this right. So I'll be back in the MIA. Well, I'll be back in MIA, but I'll be back in Omaha in May, and we're going to continue with May month because I think May month is going to be even better. And again, if you want to be a guest on our show, you just got to send us some information, send us a comment, Tisa's page, my page. Get a hold of us, and we'll get you on the show.
Yep. See you later, guys. I'm going to celebrate.
Hey.
Let's bust a myth right now. Getting an STI does not mean your life is over. STIs can affect anyone. In fact, about 1 in 4 people ages 14 to 49 will have one at some point, and most of the time, there are no symptoms, which is why testing matters. Another myth? That you can't have a normal relationship. Millions of people do, every single day. Here's the real talk. You deserve facts, not shame, fear, or judgment. Most STIs are treatable, and early detection can lead to better outcomes. You are not alone, and you are not defined by a diagnosis. Health, Wealth, and Relationships breaks down sexual health in a way that actually makes sense. Stop wondering. Start knowing. New episodes drop every Thursday. Subscribe and join the conversation.
Imagine waking up with more energy, a peaceful mind, and relationships that grow stronger every day. That is the vision Tisa Harden and Grant McGaugh want to help you achieve, and it all starts with simple, practical steps you can take this week. On Health, Wealth, and Relationships, every episode brings you real stories and trusted experts. Tisa and Grant focus on 3 tactical steps each week. Small, doable moves that protect your health, grow your savings, and bring you closer to the people you love. No complicated rules, just real progress. Try a clinic-to-kitchen swap to boost your energy. Start a money buffer habit that quietly builds your financial confidence. Or try a 1-minute exercise that helps you reconnect with your partner. These quick wins are not chores. They are steps toward a better life. People who try just one intentional step report more energy, less money stress, and evenings full of laughter again. Join Tisa and Grant. Start small. Live bigger. Tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and subscribe now.
The The Pink Lotus Project Nebraska offers holistic wellness workshops, sisterhood support groups, and healing essentials programs. Their approach emphasizes plant-based nutrition, mindfulness, physical activity, and spiritual guidance, including the power of prayer. Through education, community connection, and culturally relevant care, they empower women to face breast cancer with resilience and hope.
Somewhere right now, your ideal customer just scrolled past you. In the endless stream of content, your message, your story, your brand, gone in a flick of the thumb. Stop. Take a breath. This is the moment to ask, what would make them pause? What would make them care? Because in today's digital world, attention is currency, and you cannot afford to be overlooked. You built something real. You put in the work, the hours, the sleepless nights. You sacrificed, you hustled, you dreamed. But when your brand shows up online, it looks like everyone else's. In a world drowning in content, ordinary is invisible, and invisible is out of business. The truth is, no matter how great your product or service, if your story does not stand out, it will not be seen. And if it is not seen, it cannot grow. You deserve more than to blend in. You deserve to be unforgettable. At 5-Star BDM, we do not just make videos. We build brand conversion engines. Every project is a fusion of cinematic storytelling, strategic messaging, and AI-powered visuals. Every frame is engineered to stop the scroll and start a conversation. We are not here to add more noise. We are here to create impact. With over 1,000 videos produced, we have refined our process to deliver a 5 to 7 day turnaround. Unlimited revisions, because your brand deserves nothing less than perfection. This is not about making content. This is about making your brand impossible to ignore. But let us be clear, this is not for everyone. This is for the entrepreneur who knows their brand is not just a business. It is a movement waiting to be seen. It is for the visionary who refuses to settle for average. It is for the leader who wants their story told with power, clarity, and style. Do not just take our word for it. Susan said, "The video you produced for me was fabulous." Joy shared, "My brand finally looked like what I knew it was." Tisa added, "I highly recommend their work." These are not just testimonials. They are proof that when your story is told right, people notice. Your brand is who you are. Your video is what the world sees. Let us make sure those two things match. If you are ready to step out of the shadows and into the spotlight, 5-Star BDM Video Creation Services is here for you. Videos that stop the scroll. Content that converts. Visit 5starbdm.com/video creation services. This is your moment. Do not let it pass by unseen. Make your brand unforgettable.
The difference between influence and legacy, it's the platform that carries your voice. You're not visible because you lack talent. You're visible because your brand doesn't speak. I've built 5-Star BDM to change that. Most leaders have the expertise, but not the presence, the vision, but not the vehicle. Across 3 cities, one brand is helping leaders rise above the noise. Here in the heart of Omaha, strategy isn't left to chance. It's engineered with precision. In Omaha, we engineered your Zachner brand, AI-powered, data-driven, precise. Tisa went from a local nonprofit to a national speaker in 90 days. We don't guess your brand strategy, we build it. On the shores of St. Croix, your brand takes on depth and meaning, shaped through curated retreats and legacy experiences. In St. Croix, strategy becomes soul. Our retreats don't just refine your message, they rediscover your mission. One founder rewrote his entire company story here. Funding followed 30 days later. This is where leaders remember who they were meant to be. In vibrant Miami, momentum meets amplification, transforming your voice into a movement. In Miami, your brand becomes a movement. Business development accelerators, audience building, Joy came with an old website and an outdated company name, but she left with 5,000 followers and a waiting list. This is where you scale with soul. 3 cities, 1 mission, your legacy ignited. It started with a thread. Let's pull it together. Stop blending in, start leading. 5-Star BDM, where legacy is engineered, embodied, and ignited. Visit 5starbdm.com and book your brand audit today.